Greetings, fellow travelers, and welcome to the Way of the Showman, where, as always, we view the world through the lens of showmanship. I am Captain Frodo, and I will be your host and your guide along the way. And this is the first episode that's going live after I have finished my massive project on exploring the relationship between showmanship and play. I mean, for the longest time, I was writing the document that became those 30 episodes, and I mean, it started in February last year, so February 2024, and over that time, we've released a whole bunch, 30 of the episodes about that, but also a whole bunch of episodes where Jay Gilligan questions me about these things. So, if anything, this is although the topics are always sort of related to showmanship and really exploring what it is, trying to get to the deepest depths of what is this activity that we all love and care about so much, and what is the potential of it. To know that, to know where it goes in the future, I think it is important to know what it is today and what it really is, and to place it into a context that's greater than just rocking up somewhere, doing a show, getting some money and going home, like as you clearly know by now. But also what I've sort of been wondering, what is this? What is the 30 episodes that I've just done on play? And in a way, it's kind of a deep dive into my mind, into my intellectual history and my curiosity and the topics and subjects that interests me. Because of course, for as much as I am trying to show you what play is, it's also me coming to terms with beliefs that I have and trying to put them into a greater context. And I mean, as you know, I'm working intimately back and forth creatively with Jay Gilligan, and when he listens or reads the stuff that I am working on, he frequently likes it most when I am talking just out of myself. But I am, of course, intimately familiar with these things that come immediately from myself, and I go, I think this, I think that, and because of this happened in my life, and it's anecdotal. But what I want to show what I have been wanting to show here in these 30 episodes is that it is not just it's not just something that I think up or come up with on a whim. I believe it's part of a tradition of thinking, whether it is Rutger Bregman that talks about the innate hopefulness or decency of humankind, and or whether it is how the deep biological and physiological ways that a human being actually looks, the way that our bodies are built now, how that it contributes to us being playful beings in the world. All of these things, it feels to me, gives a weight to being a performer, to being a showman, that I wished that I could have found in the past. I remember watching HBO's Carnivale when that came out, and that show really just hit me with its sort of two-pronged storyline of religion when religion goes bad, but also like the nature of what religion is, and of course everything being the protagonists being in a carnival, and I loved that so much. I had this major falling out with my girlfriend at the time, because at the time with we didn't have streaming when that came out first. So I didn't know where to get the episodes, and we were out at meeting someone, and I had to step away and watch the TV like I'm some sort of it's a Rain Man that can't get along without watching their favorite TV show. So anyway, I loved that show, and in that show there is a radio program, I think it's called Tales from the Road, and I loved this idea that we could gather along in our caravans and everything and listen to this show where a person you'd hear from people on the road, and you'd hear, but also that there always was this nod to a greater and deeper truth, or there's something spiritual about it, and that they take interest in the matters of the soul, and I always sort of dreamed that this thing would exist. And I guess this podcast in a way is me trying to make something that I wished would have existed for me when I was out there traveling. Well, I still am, and now this exists. So we are going back now into not having me just ramble at you. We're having conversations with people. Coming up next, we have Antje Pode, which is an incredible artist that I mean, I've listened to the episode recently or the interviews, so we basically explain who she is and what she does very clearly in the episode. But she grew up in East Germany and joined the East German, like the governmental circus school, and we get to hear all about that and the coming down of the wall and all these incredible things, all through the view of showmanship, through the view of people who are out touring on trains and whatever when these major political events happened. So yeah, I really hope that you like it. And coming up soon, we will have more episodes exploring folk circus with Jay Gilligan, and we have episodes where I talk to Nick the Fat. Another couple of episodes about where we talk me trying to come to terms in my mind with what it means in magic to read magic tricks in books and use them in your shows and use the ideas and what that means. So a lot of exciting stuff coming up. But now, without further any ado, as they say, let's just jump in to meet the wonderful Antje Pode. Now when I am sitting here, I don't actually know your name. How do you like to present yourself? Is it like Antje Pode always, or do you use your full name? Or
no, normally Antje Pode when I'm an artist, and Antje Mertens when I'm the private person.
Yeah, that's like I'm Captain Frodo.
And you're the artist.
When I'm the artist, and I'm just Frodo when I'm... But yeah,
I think it is interesting that we have two personalities.
Yeah.
One is an artist, and one is a private person.
I think this is kind of common to have a kind of artist name at least in. Like now, I don't fully know about circus. That I don't know, but in sideshow and freak shows and this, to have a kind of artist name or a stage name. I think that is in circus as well. Like
in circus, in the East German circus, it was more when you are in a group.
Yeah.
Then the group have a artist name. Of course, you didn't want to call everybody's name from the people.
Yeah, that's true. But so we have worked together in London Calling. This is the second time, and we're staying together here. And we always have such great conversations all the time when we go up and back to work and so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to talk and have a little bit more formal conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who don't know, that Antje does an incredible foot juggling act. You're an antipodist.
Yes, I'm an antipodist. Or a foot juggler. It's much easier for the people to know what it is.
Yeah. So, and you are now doing in London Calling, you're kind of doing the act which sets it up, and it has character, and it sets up this idea that we're on a journey through London, and you're juggling suitcases with your legs.
Yes.
And it's on an extremely high skill level, and so. Maybe we'll just start a little bit from the beginning, because you grew up in.
I grew up in East Germany, and I did a circus school in East Berlin. I mean, it was really before the wall fell down, and I studied 4 years in this circus school, and afterwards I went to the East German government circus. It was. All the students get a contract for 3 years for the East German government circus. And it was also why we create the act for the German circus.
Yeah.
The German circus really say, we want to have an act, for example, Antje Pode act in 3 years, and then the school creates this act for the circus.
Wow. So that's awesome. But how did you in East Germany, how did you, what made you fall in love with circus so that you decided you wanted to go and do it?
Oh, when I was a child, I was a gymnast.
Yeah.
When I start with the gymnastic when I was 6 years old, it was in East Germany. It was very often that the people from the sport club, they going to the schools and they pick up all the, in this time, all the small girls to ask them, would you like to do gymnastic? And in this time I loved it, and I did 4 years gymnastic, and it was really East Germany looked up for all the children to start very early, that after 4 years at home they go to the special sports school, and then they create the Olympic candidate very, very early.
Wow.
And then in my town, we after the gymnastic, we had a club. We call it. It was in German Arbeitervarieté, Varieté for workers.
Yeah.
And when I was 11, I went to this club, and in this club I already did. I did like a little bit like not flying trapeze. We had a trampoline and this kind of where somebody catch you and bring you back in the trampoline. And I did my first shows with this in this working variety. And sometimes they invite teachers from the circus school for a workshop. Mm-hmm. And then this was a small step to say, oh, I want to go to the circus school.
But you'd seen circus as well? Did you go to see circuses?
In East Germany, every year one of the big German circus came in my town. And in East Germany, I think everybody went to the circus. The circus was full, and it was a circus tent for 2,500 people, and every show was sold out.
Wow.
It was not very expensive. I think you pay 3 mark, German mark in this time for not so good seat, and maybe 8 for the very great seats. It was cheap for the people, but
this was also the point, I think, wasn't it? I don't know so much about it, but it was supposed to be like for everybody, for the working class, so that you, even when you do a small job somewhere, you should be able to have the right to go and see.
Yeah. I think it was in East Germany already. Culture was not expensive. Also to go in a museum, and the government, they really support the East German circus. With a lot of money. I think so.
Yeah, because the whole circus was run by the state. As well.
Exactly.
So I guess that means, I guess when it's run by the state, it also means that the material, everything that was done in the act was somehow needed to be okay with the party as well. Did you ever?
No, it was not. Nobody was really.
Nobody cared.
Watching what we are doing. No. We was free what we are do. Maybe, of course, I don't use words. When you use words, I think it changed more. But just for the acrobats, it was, you couldn't be so much with your acrobatic against the system. It is very complicated, I think.
It's difficult to...
and not in this time when the circus don't do create a story or something like this. In this time, I mean, we're talking about the 80s, 1980s.
Yeah. So when the people came to the Arbeiter variety or the workers variety or whatever, and did they ask you, or did you ask them then if you could be in the circus school, or after? So you've done the first sort of workshop with those first
Yes.
workshops.
No, I went to the. I have to make 2 tests for the circus school. It was yes. They invite the people or the children every month. You can do a test, and then the best of this group have to come to the next. It's like an audition.
Yeah.
And often they was looking for 20 children for each year, and the testing maybe 500, and the most
500.
Yeah, they had it in a newspaper. Would you like to be an artist? Then came to the artist school, and we have. Do you say tests?
Yeah, like actually, it's they call it audition, don't they? Maybe,
yes.
but audition, I think, is just a fancy word for a kind of test or whatever. But
I think for a school you don't call it audition. Audition, it's more for a project.
I don't know. No. It's also the actor. All the actors goes in. Are you going to be in this play? Then you go to an audition.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, they do the test. And what kind of testing did they do there?
Oh, it was not so complicated. They really looked up how good you have to juggling a little bit, and you have to do some pull-ups and a little bit ballet, and they looked a little bit how is your flexibility. But then it was not so difficult, the test.
No.
But for the girls, I have to say the most girls came from the gymnastic.
Yeah.
And then they just it was not so specific.
No. So, but that's also kind of interesting. So how many people did when you started the circus school? How many people was in the class? Or
22 in the class. And the first year you did everything.
But there's only 22 people. There was not.
No, we had 4 classes.
Okay. So it was.
You study 4 years. The school was 4 years, and you had 4 classes.
Yeah.
It was a very, very small school.
But 4 classes, so there was less than 100 students in each year.
Yeah.
But that's still a lot. I don't know how many people are in the school in Rotterdam or the school in Stockholm. It's not 100 students.
Yeah, but if you're thinking about in the East German circus, we worked in big groups. I mean, we never had a solo act. It was more when you have a teeterboard act. It was minimum 5, often 8 people.
Like a troupe.
Yeah, it was. When I did the foot juggling, we was 3 people, and we was a very, very small group. It was not very often that you could see a solo act, and not directly from the circus school.
Yeah.
From circus school, it was just groups came to the circus.
But this is also almost like thinking 3 people doing it like a troupe. It's almost like because when you're doing a very big show for 2,500 people too, to just be one person on the center of the stage, almost it can be a little small when you're working on. It's practically an arena size.
But look, you also do shows with 5,000 people.
Yeah. But when it gets too big, also then you almost need video to see the details. So it makes sense, and this is also maybe where the idea for the American style circus with 3 rings, because then you can, when Ringling Brothers were doing the big shows back in the 20s and 30s, and when you have 10,000 people, the people in the back on the one side can't see what happens on the other one, so they have the idea of the 3 rings. But so how quickly after you joined did you specialize or start doing? Because you said they came and told you that in 3 years we want.
Yes, it was after the first year when you do everything a little bit.
Yeah.
Then the school choose the people. What they choose me to do foot juggling. It was not really special.
You didn't like that? That was not your favorite?
No, it was not my favorite. I was thinking, what is this? Antje Pode. I have no idea what I have to do.
Yeah.
It was really, I prefer to do something spectacular, and then they say, no, lying on your back and juggling some stuff with your feet. And
Yeah.
say, okay.
And how did you? Were you disappointed? Did you go? Because
I was disappointed in the beginning, and then I was very happy because my other two colleagues, they was really nice, and they was good friends, and it is already if the school put the act together, it doesn't care about your friends with him, or they just looked up who can do this, and very often a big group, maybe they worked 2 years in a circus, and then they split because they didn't like each other, or they have other interests.
But it's an interesting thing too, that it's like you get put together but you get this first contract. So then after the first couple of years, or what did you say, 2 or 3 years with the state circus?
Yeah, but of course in East Germany you never lose your job normally.
Yeah.
You stay in the circus, in the government circus. Then they never kick you out. Also, if you are not working in a manege anymore, they will find another job for you, or it was also, if you really, for example, had an accident and you can't work anymore, then the government pay for 3 or 4 years that you can learn as a professional. It was really safe. And we was not freelancer. We had a contract with a circus, and they pay us every month. Just to, it's also when we're not working, they pay us.
Yeah, was really interesting. Was there privately owned circuses?
Yes, we had private circus too, also? Family circus. Yeah,
for circuses which had maybe existed before the
exactly
wall was put up.
Yeah, exactly. And this circus, it was not fair, I have to say, because when the 3 government circus from Germany, it was Busch, Eros, and Berolina. One was all the time in Germany, one was most time in Czechoslovakia, and one was most time in Russian. But this one in Germany, because it was the biggest one, when they say we want to go to Dresden or we want to go to other city, they could be there first, and the private circus have to become second. Yeah, it was not fair, not really fair. But often there's a circus, he was just in the north or just in the south, the government circus, and then the private circus
tries to go to the opposite end or whatever.
Exactly, yes.
But it's always like this, isn't it? Everyone is equal, but this one is more equal. This one is more, everyone is the same, but we go first.
Yeah.
I guess that's the case. But it's hard to kind of picture, like, when did the wall get put up? Did this happen when you were...
No, I wasn't born when the...
When did the wall go up?
It was 1960.
1960,
yeah, 1960.
Yeah. But, so you grew up with just...
I grew up with a wall.
Yeah, this was just a reality.
It was when I came to Berlin to the circus school, it was normal that you had a street and you couldn't walk further because there was a wall. Just on the street from one house to the next house, there was a wall.
Yeah.
And on the other side, there was this kind of area where the border,
like no man's land.
Yes. Yeah. And on the other side, the street was still there because nobody breaks the street.
So they just tear down one building or something where the wall was, and then there was just how big of a gap, like 100 meters or
maybe no, I think
maybe
longer.
Less,
and I think in Berlin, I don't no, exactly.
That's okay. We can just speak from the emotions. We don't have to be.
But it was very funny after the wall fell down and they break the wall down. And then I realized, oh, look, the street is on the other side still there.
Yeah. Because it was the city first for a long time. And then they decide to put the wall up. And exactly. But so you come in. Here comes the housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
Well, they just have to come in and then. Okay, let's maybe pause this. Hello. So before we were rudely interrupted by the servants in our mansion here where we live, we were talking about just the wall and how when the wall came down, you realize, oh, there's a street here.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But in this moment, though, like, because you said wall went up in 1960, so you went there, but like, so was it your parents' generation then that it went up when they were young?
Yes, of course. My parents, my mother, she came from Poland. I mean, it was a time when a part of Poland was German. And after the war, she moved to Germany, but she grew up in the area what is Poland now. And of course, it is my mother. She's born 1929. She was a part. The first 17 years when she grew up, she was in Poland, and then the next time she grew up she lived in East Germany, and the last part of her life was in the whole
United Germany. Yeah.
Yes.
Huh. But how was that then when they, because before the wall came up, it was still East Germany, but they didn't have the wall. And could people go between?
The people could go between, but it was so many people moved from East Germany to West Germany then I think they start first to pull up the wall in a country on a countryside,
like outside of town.
And you could still move in Berlin. You still could move from one side to the other side, but in the 1960, then they stopped. And then they really built up in the night. They built up the wall,
like wire fence first, and then build the wall along the way, or something.
And it was really from one day to the other day. Wow. The people couldn't go anymore. To the family also, because actually in Berlin, of course you had family in the other part of the city, and then you couldn't see them anymore.
Or even that you have other people in other towns in Germany. Then if you were lucky or whatever, those people happened to live on the south side of the wall. On one side of the wall.
West side.
West side or east side, whatever. But if you lived on one side and they just happened to live in a town somewhere in the east, then you could either go or not go.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, it is why I think the people already realized the time will coming when the wall, when the border will be closed, and then in 1956 till 1960, a lot of people moved to the West German side. Yeah.
And because what's interesting in this special time, or this special place of like Soviet Union or whatever, is the role of the circus. And this was already like the role of the circus as a state thing was something that come from Russia, which started.
Yes, it come from Russia.
Yeah,
it's really interesting. In Russian, it was the circus was really one of the biggest art or the most popular art. It was a ballet. It was really the most popular, and then after the ballet came the circus. And in Russian, they really have theater just for circus. It is really
like the buildings.
The buildings. It is a theater with a manege, with a circle, and
rigging and everything,
yes,
and room for the
also a
animals.
rehearsal area is also a circle. It's just next to
The same size.
the same size, and of course, in the 1980 we had a lot of animals also in the circus. And
so they have the stables and the places for the animals to be.
yes.
And yeah. So when you guys worked, and did you have all the animals like lions and so both the wild animals like lions and tigers, and also
yes,
bears?
we are talking about the 18th. I think in this time it is the same, like Ringling Brothers had the elephants, the tigers, and yes, we had three East German circus. Every circus had a tiger, lions, or some cats.
Cat act,
They all had a elephant act. They all have horses, of course.
But bears, there's a tradition for bears in the Russian circuses too, because the bear is also connected kind of to the image of Russia and everything.
Yes, but for example, the brown bears, they are not in a cage.
No,
they are just on a
string or wire, like a leash.
On a leash, yes. It is very interesting. In East Germany, we had a polar bear act, but the polar bear act was in a cage. But the brown bears, they are really just on a...
That's amazing. I got questions about both of those. So I mean, what is it with the brown bear then, that they are more under control? Are they more tame, in quotation marks, or like that they have more control over them?
I'm not the right person to ask, but I don't know exactly, but I'm sure you can hold a bear maybe easier. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just know it.
I know from my friend Menno that we spoke about, Menno van Dijk, who has an extraordinary, huge collection of circus on video, and he has all sorts of circus, but he has lots of traditional circus, because this is, of course, most of it that was been on TV. And when I was working with Circus Nemo, we had these sort of circus nights where we would, after the show, me and him would sit and watch circus videos all night. And he would sort of, then we would just put together, I would ask, do you have something like this? And then he thinks, I was thinking about this act for you, and so these most crazy things. But at least on one of those nights, we started to look at the animal acts, and some of these acts are incredible. Like there was a teeterboard kind of troupe, which also had a bear in it. Where the guys were doing it, and this bear was not on a leash. He was running around always on two legs like a person, and standing with the others, and he would both help to jump on the thing and shoot the other person off, like being the base, but also the bear would stand there and jump on the teeterboard. And it's like, and one where they're driving a motorbike, also not on a leash, of course, where it comes in and it gets on like a thing.
Yes, and when they do something, they was not on a leash.
Yeah,
they just. I worked in Russian with a bear act, and this guy, he let the bear in the manege first, and they just running in the manege, and he was still backstage.
Outside.
And I was really surprised about this, that he trusts the bear so much that they will not attack the people.
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen it like that, but I saw a Cirque du Verre in Paris 1 year, maybe this was in 2009 or something, and they had lions, and it's like you don't see this so much anymore, but then it's like it is an incredible feeling for to sit in the audience when they just have this net. It's like a cage,
now
or whatever.
It's often in the past net, it was
the cage, but now like it was a kind of net or whatever, and you just it's scary. This
you're thinking it is not so big, the net.
And this is an interesting thing, which is like, as much as it's really really good to take care of the animals. I mean, I've been a vegetarian for 33 years because of animal rights. So it's not that, but to look at it just as a cultural phenomenon, which happened as well, and which is still going on now, but not so often. But then when I sat there and watched it, this is from the audience point of view,
you're so close.
You're so close, and it feels like you can, and the smell, like they open up and they come out, and you sense this strong predator smell. It is scary. So when you guys were doing the circus in the buildings and stuff, were the animals, were they coming in? Like, how was that?
In the buildings, when I think I can't remember that we had tigers or elephants. We had bear in Russian. Do you mean?
For instance,
because it was just in Russian in the buildings. We had horses, but it was more this kind of we call it chikitan. The people jumping up and down from the horses and climbing around.
This.
We had this kind of act, and we have some bears, but it was no tigers or other things.
Not elephants.
It was more in East Germany in a government circus. We had
those kinds of animals.
We was very close to the animals. Actually, when you're waiting for your to go on stage or in the manege, you was very close to the animals. Sometimes you have to push the elephant that he let you pass.
Give me room to go. I need to run.
Yes.
I need to run and do my act. It's time for the Antje Pode.
Yes, exactly.
That's it's amazing. I never worked with elephants or bears or so. I worked with a zebra and with geese and sea lion.
Yeah. The sea lions is also very, very interesting, and I think they really enjoy to do it sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I work
like
together.
Dogs. I think I have no problems when dogs on stage because they are really, they like to do it, and I think it is very, very, very healthy for animals like this to do something.
I think so too, and to say, oh, we can't do dogs, and to a certain extent also horses. With people are using horses for all kinds of other things or whatever, but of course sport. But this also is people look. This is also not unproblematic. I'm aware that, of course, you're putting the horse in the trailer all the time and drive around. But anyway, with the dogs, it feels to me like they are so closely related to us, and to say that we can't do it because some people don't treat their dog good, but this is the same everywhere. Some dogs have a terrible life not performing. So I don't think that because you can teach your dog to do amazing things. My wife just was doing an act now with our dog.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What kind of dog do you have?
We have a Pomchi. It's a mix of the Pomeranian and the Chihuahua.
Oh,
so he's a really beautiful small dog. And he can do all sorts of tricks and walk on his legs. And he walked with the pram with another dog puppet or a soft toy inside. And he pushed the thing, and it starts with her. He jumps into the basket, and then we close the lid, and then Miranda comes in, and the music is playing, and she puts the basket down, and then she goes and stands on the side, and then she goes clap, clap, and the dog comes out of the basket over and everything. But when we did it, you need to practice a lot for him to know it. And then when we did the show, and all of a sudden there was like 200 kids and adults, and there was so much talking inside and it was so loud, and the dog was very confused and sort of nervous and didn't know. And the weird thing was, he did not want to eat the treats at all. But almost. But he did all of the tricks, not at the time that it was supposed to happen. Like, he was very slow, and sometimes he forgets and stands and smells the thing or looks at the children or whatever. So I think he needs to do many shows before he learns that forget about this. But it's the most difficult thing if you do because when we were working. Actually, this was because my friend Ingo, who was working with the sea lions, and then his brother his name Patrick, I think, worked with him in Circus Finlandia one time, and he had a dog act. And even him, who has been doing this dog act for so long, he goes in and trains every day in the actual ring.
Yes, in the same atmosphere.
Same atmosphere, same. So then the only thing that's new is the audience. But for us who always do one show, we're not doing with the family show, me and my wife and my daughter together. This is just one-offs. And then I was thinking, this dog is never gonna learn to be with the audience, because you need to do 100 shows before the dog can relax with this. And it helps if you go in one circus and the menage is the same and this sort of stuff. But
yes, you took your venue with you. That is helpful.
Yeah, it helps. Yeah. But anyway, so that's all very exciting. You got so then you joined the school, and that's kind of interesting that already then, how old were you then?
17.
17. So then within the next 3 or 4 years, you would be educated as a circus performer, and you go straight into a lifelong job if you want.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I did it 6 years till the wall fell down. I worked in the circus, in the German,
in the state circus.
Yeah, in the state circus.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But you just touching on that you said that there was only buildings in Russia. So this was a Russian, and so you played in tents then when you were in Germany.
Yes, in Germany we played in tents, and also my first year in Russian, we took the whole state's German circus to Russian.
With tent and animals,
with
everything.
Tent and animal, they go by train. We fly to Russian, but the circus and the animal, they go by train to Russian. And one time it was really we worked on the river Volga.
Yeah.
It's really east. It's a little bit just not so far from the Ural, the mountains Ural. And then for the last 3 months, we moved from this area to the Ukraine. And they put the whole circus on 3 trains, and we was on the train. For 3 days, we traveling in Russian, really on
through
a
Russia,
train, and we was outside of we slept in this circus caravan, but we was outside. We had like a little terrace where we could sit, and then the whole country passed us.
So the caravan was standing on top of a flatbed.
Yes. Yeah. And then when you see the old or the traditional circus caravans, you have it's like a piece of wood what you put
flip
down
and have a little fence around. And,
yes. And we had this. And then, we were sitting there, had a tea, and then the whole country passed.
That is so romantic. I love that.
And sometimes we walked way on the edge of this kind of
of the cart or on the edge of the train
to the next one, and then we jumped from one. How do you call this?
Carriage or something?
Carriage. And we jumped from one carriage to the next one because we want to visit somebody else. And it was really, really exciting and very special. It is so long time ago, and I still have these pictures in my head.
I've never thought of that. I'm sure this must have happened in America too, but most of the time I sort of think that people were just sleeping inside the train, in the train carriages, but it's really cool that they put the whole...
I think we was talking about this I was talking with Paul de Beck, and he told me, no, they really have trains where they sleep in the train. It is not that you have the caravan on the open carriage, but it was just when we moved, it was 3,000 kilometers what we moved. In 3 days, and it is why we was traveling like this just for 3 days. But it was very special.
What a picture as well.
Yeah, it was very, very special.
Yeah, wow. that's a sight to see. But it's like, did you stay with your two colleagues then? You had a caravan with just three of you, or was it one of the? Is it like a small door and just the beds, or was it? Did you have?
No, it was one caravan, and there was a wall in the middle, and you had two entrances. And I stay with my colleague, my woman colleague, in one part of this, and my the guy, he stayed with the other artist and on the other side. So,
okay, yeah. So you're sort of having a one room that you shared with one person.
Yes, and it was not a big room.
Yeah. No, those things aren't often.
Yeah, but in summer it was fine because the whole life was outside. Yes, you eat outside and you do everything outside. But in the beginning of the season, I mean in April, when it was raining, it was really, it was not a lot of space. And then okay, the summer is coming, and then it changed. And just in the end of the season, October, November, then it was already a little bit too
cold. Then you have to be more inside.
Yes, but then okay, the season will be finished soon.
Yeah. But what was it like then when you got to so you on this train and you got off the train and how did they get everything off? Did they use the elephants like we see in the movies or so to use the elephants to take your wagons off the train? Or
the elephants also in Germany, they all the time go by train. And it was when the circus arrived, the elephants sometimes they arrived on the same day or a day later, and they walked all the time from the train station to the circus area. And it was really like the picture what a lot of people have in his mind, the elephant, the biggest in the front, and the other one catch the tail in the front, and then they walked to the circus place. Wow. And it was a big how do you say it, promotion.
Yeah.
The people they could see the elephant, and then they know the circus is in town.
Arrived. So great. This is so romantic. This is kind of.
Yes, it seems like, but of course it is also. It's not just the glimmer. And,
Yeah.
But I'm very, very happy that I could. That it is a part of my life.
Yeah. No, I remember from the little that I've done, it's like we've done 3 kind of 5-month seasons with a touring show like that. And I remember sitting inside my caravan and looking out when we have just done the move from one place. So you drive for a few hours and you park your caravan, you put it up or whatever. And then I'm sitting looking out the window at the workers who are building the tent.
Yeah.
And it was like also in early April maybe late April, because I think we start in the middle of April. And we've gone to a town and it's actually like sleet, not full snow that stays, but it's this cold.
Yeah.
And the guys are out lifting the metal and everything. And I was thinking, I'm glad that I played my cards to be an artist and can sit in here.
Exactly.
Because it's already just putting the water connecting to the thing, and everything is cold and wet, and you just get so cold, and then you see these guys all night, king, putting in the
this
tent
kind
and
of
building
sound
up.
when they put the anchor.
Yeah.
I still have the sound in my ear, the bing, bing, bing.
Well, this
bing.
only happened really for us. It only really happened with, I think, when they put the main king poles, they put this. Because when they do all the way around, when I put 2 rows of the things, they use a kind of machine.
Yes. We had.
So you lose this king.
Do you know? We also had this machine, but often the worker they prefer to do it with 3 people. With 3 people doing one anchor.
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh no, we are quicker with this."
Yeah.
And sometimes it was also to show, look, we can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is really cool. Because the guys that we worked with, I think they were, a lot of them were from Poland, I think. But anyway, it's very cool.
It's very impressive. Very impressive.
And each one is hitting just after the next. And this is also, to me, like something that's like part of the circus mythology or something of this is how it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
But of course, I also understand when we finish the show and they immediately start to work. They already working to take down. You go in when you arrive to the circus, and there's a beautiful wooden kind of fence around the whole thing, painted in the black and silver and red, the colors of this show that I was with. But by the time the audience comes out, this is already gone because they go in for the second half and then they take the tent down.
Yes, for the last show.
For the last show, and then people are going out, and they already, as people are going this way, they start at the back going like the army ants in the movies.
We had a guy with a whistle.
Oh yeah.
And just when the most people leave, maybe there was 5% from the audience still in the tent, and then you hear the whistle, and then it was like arms came and boom. It's a lot of noises but everybody have to wait for the whistle.
Yeah,
it was really interesting.
Yeah, because that's right. Because the workers, they know they have to do this, so they just want to start.
Yeah, they want to start.
The director or somebody, or the boss of the workers or whatever, have to decide. Okay, we have to wait here. Don't steal. 10 minutes don't matter. Don't do it when the children get scared when you start to pull down the walls. That's amazing. Mm. So when you, because now you're doing this incredible foot juggling act with Suitcases, and you're doing a mix of foot juggling, and you do sort of I don't even know what that is, but when you do many things at the same time, it's like the kind of that I think of Rastelli or someone jugglers like this who got like one hoop on their foot and one bouncing, and then because you do one of the things you do.
I have one suitcase on my feet,
spinning. Oh no,
one on my foot.
One on each foot?
No, my bag is on the other one.
Yeah.
And one suitcase spinning on my finger on the right hand, and 2 apples, and I'm juggling on the left hand. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like right foot spinning your handbag. Sort of, you come out in the beginning, beautiful lady, and you have a little pink sort of
handbag.
Yes. And then spinning this around the leg as you're balancing one case on the left foot, and then spinning the second suitcase around on just one finger, and then juggling with the other one. And then you,
in the end, flip the
one which you have on your foot. Yeah. It's so impressive. And every night when we stand there, it's like by this point people are going crazy. Like your act is very well structured in the way that
it's coming more and more and more
and more impressive. And also from that, it's like the reactions from the audience increases very, very well as well. So this is how the act kind of is now, and it's divided into kind of 3 sections or so. And it's a very strong structure. But when you first started out, you didn't start with Suitcases, or was this something which you started with?
No, on a circus school, I start with, this kind of like a big cigarette? Like a cylinder.
A roll cylinder. Yeah.
We start with this, and we have a big ball, and we have a carpet. But this kind of, when I do everything, the different things with hand and foot, we already did it. I already did it when on a circus school. In this time, I had this cylinder on my one feet, and a ring on the other one, and a ball spinning in the right hand, and juggling. And I do this for many, many years, and it is still my highlight.
It's this kind of combination tricks, I think they call it. But it's
It is a little bit different now because to spinning the suitcase is different.
Much difficult. I don't know if it's much more difficult, but it looks much more precarious. Like the ball
you
is...
still have to do it when you're spinning a ball. When it is on a finger, then it is not so. You don't have to do something. Just
you can hold that hand still.
Yes, and also the handbag. It's different to a ring. A ring is going much easier than a handbag. What have a different weight, and you really have to work more on it. That it's still, and also it's different when you have a suitcase or you have this kind of cylinder, because the suitcase have a third dimension. The cylinder have just two. If you're thinking about, you don't have to.
There's no front and back. It's just up and down.
Yeah, exactly. And left and it's not. It can turning, and that doesn't matter. But the suitcase, when it turned, it is a completely different balance.
Yeah, different balance, and also like a different image. And it also means here now that when you are spinning, or also when you at times have two suitcases up, then if they're a little bit on the side, they're sort of leaning against each other. So you have to be more precise.
Yes.
But I guess that's also why your act is so unique, and so people like it so much, because even though they don't know these things or can put word to it, you can tell that it's, you get the suitcase up, and then you do two small kicks of correction to get it in the perfect space. They understand that the orientation also is an element of skill or something.
I think that it's also that everybody knows suitcase. Everybody use suitcases, and of course they're not juggling the suitcase on the feet, but they know it, and it is some object what is not just a cylinder or something.
And this is of course at the heart of what I do with mind things as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone has been with a suitcase on, even when you have it on wheels and you're going to the airport and you try to go somewhere and it gets caught on the airport, and it gets caught in the legs with the strings across it when you're in the queue or something, and how awkward it gets, or like, so you have some idea of how heavy they are, and you try to get it up over the thing, and when you sit down in the seats. So people have a relationship to this thing, and already then they have a relationship towards a suitcase, that nobody goes around and going, oh, I'm so excited, I'm going to go on a trip so I get to move this suitcase around. It's always a negative thing connected to having your, because it's like, oh, it's too heavy, oh, it's too difficult, oh, it's like it's in the way, or which anyway just makes me remember that they only started to put wheels on suitcases like in the 80s or something.
Yes, it is not so long time
and
ago.
Then when they started in the beginning, they were just in one corner, like, so it's flat with a stick to hold it. And I was thinking, who thought that this would be a good idea, just to have a thin stick? Because I remember when I had that, it was good because you could take some of the weight off, but it was very difficult because you had to squeeze the stick so hard so it didn't tip over. And then finally someone went, let's put them in this end and roll. But anyway, it's funny when we look back, and the first wheels that they find in history was on toys.
Really?
Yeah, on these little horses and things that you could pull for children. And this apparently existed for a long time.
But for the suitcase, it is not.
Or for the car, or to roll things. It's like before, like it took still a long time before the wheel became a normal thing. Anyway, this people can fact check this later if they want to. But sometimes it's not so easy to get these ideas. But the point being, people have a relationship to the suitcase, and this is also with me. Squeezing through two tennis rackets, or like a coat hanger, like when I first started in 1998 or whatever, when I started going through things like this, instead of using a metal ring, which you sometimes see, that contortionists have rings or whatever, or a small hula hoop looking thing that you go through or whatever. But for me, the fact that the manipulation happened with an object which you somehow know. And also in my second act that I do in the show, where I have the cans.
I love it.
It's the bin for the garbage. It's another small thing, and it's a paint tin, and this sort of. So you sort of go, they are real things, not.
It's not abstract.
Yeah. No, it's concrete. And I think that's really interesting, and what makes your act kind of also, it's so.
Yeah, I really love it when somebody use normal objects to do something.
Even for the juggling with hats and stuff, I was fascinated with that also, even from when I was a child. Like, there's something very cool about using an object that you forget to look at.
Yeah.
Like I can do even with, I have a pork pie kind of hat, flat thing. It's not particularly good for juggling. It's too light and it is not round. And so, but
you have to make a compromise when you use something like this, because it is not in the balance like the club. The club is really, it is not a high take, but somebody really thinking about where it's the spinning moment and
the center of gravity.
Yes, but when you use something else, you have to find your only way how you can manipulate it.
That's right. And you find the spin of it. Like I need to find where there's a little tag, which is the back, and I need to have my middle finger on this one. Because then I know it's not correct, but I know that it spins kind of this way. So I put a little bit more pressure towards the left because it has a tendency to go towards the right. So if I want it to go on my head, I need to feel this mark inside, and then that tells me push a little bit more on my ring finger and my little finger so it's on the finger, so it goes the opposite way. Anyway, it's kind of. And you get the same problems that you're talking about with the 3-dimensionality of the suitcase. Instead of a cylinder, when you have the juggling club, you just have to worry about the rotation, but never about the placement of the object.
Yes, and also the suitcase, there is a little gap, but where the lid coming down, it is not flat everything, or like you have the handle. Yes, and you have the locks and. Actually, for the handle, you really have to know when is the handle really on this side where maybe you want to put your foot. And also when I after some years I have to change the suitcase, and many years ago I bought really 10 suitcases, the same
brand and everything.
And it looks really similar. But it is not the same, and it is the suitcase from leather, and leather is a little bit more bending on this side, and I need 3 weeks to bring a new suitcase in, and there is a time when I can't juggling the old one and I can't juggling the new one. But they are really it's the same brand, it's the same size, it's the same weight. But the material is a little bit different, and my feet really have to learn this 3 millimeter more this and 3 millimeter more this. It is. I was the first time when I changed the suitcase, I was shocked. I didn't realize that it is so
fine.
So fine.
Finely tuned. That is kind of surprising to me as well. But it's amazing, but also I think it's because your number is already at a very high level. So the tricks and combination tricks and that you do, and the expectation that you have to how tightly it's going to be fit with the music and everything too. You don't accept that it's going to fall down 2 times or whatever.
Yes, it is with the music so close that I really have to do the 8. I throw it 8 times in this direction and 8 times in this direction. And when I just do it 6 times, because then I'm struggling, then it is not on the music anymore. And then I'm not really happy with it.
So I think it's like one thing is that it's more difficult, but maybe what can we call it? A lesser artist or somebody who is going, it'll be okay. The audience don't notice, which is in one way may be true, but it also is a testament to your professionality that, okay, I have to retire this suitcase because it's broken or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, but I need to do this in 3 weeks where I don't have work.
Yes, exactly. It is for me. It's really I changed it in the pandemic. It was a good time to change the suitcase.
Oh yeah. And this is also where you
create the mannequin. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell me about that, because you already had an act. How long had you performed the
suitcase act?
Yeah, the two, because it's sort of like two sections.
Yeah.
And were the two of them were always part of your act? Always. It's like 3 minutes or something, 2 or 3 minutes. The first section. Something.
No, the first was one suitcase. It is 2.5 minutes, and then there was the two suitcases and the handbag. It is maybe also 2 or 3 minutes, and yeah, it was for a long time. It was my act, and
How long?
I think it was nearly. I started 1995 or 6. I mean, after the wall fall down, then I rehearsed it, and in 1995 I did the first version from this act. Of course, the handbag came later, and or when I saw the ball in the handbag, it changed a little bit, but the ground construction was in this time that I'm juggling.
So 30 years now.
Yes. And the mannequin came just in the pandemic. I had the idea a little bit before, and I already in I think in the 60s there was a guy. He had smaller puppets, also a foot juggler, and he used smaller puppets. There was like football players, and he had this puppet with he did it with a ball and one puppet, and I never saw it live because I just saw a video about this many years ago, and then I start maybe 2000. I had a puppet, but smaller one, and I started.
But hard. So let's paint the picture.
It was just the normal.
A mannequin from the shop, like that.
This was really. It was a big puppet for children.
Oh yeah.
And
But let's in your act you have a mannequin. It's a man, and his name is Oscar.
Yeah.
And at the moment he's wearing a sort of 3-piece suit, but he doesn't have the jacket on, and he's got hands that are made out of fabric, kind of, so the hands are movable, but his whole body and his feet, and he's got shoes on, and he's at the moment wearing hat and glasses.
Yes.
With a necktie and waistcoat, and he looks very stylish. And we roll him out, and then you grab him, and it's always it's the last of the 3 things that happen, or 3 sections. And when he comes out and you start to do it, it has so many beautiful kind of connotations to it that that it's you kicking a man around is already kind of funny.
Yeah.
And also what happens to his arms, the way that the arms, which are soft, the way as you are spinning him the one way or the other or kicking him, it means his arms move, which really
he became alive, huh?
Yes.
A little bit. Yes, and I think it is really that the people first, what is this? And then when he is lying on my feet, it's different. And when he stay on my feet, I think it is much more the illusion that he became alive. Huh?
Yeah, that's that's true. When he's lying on you, it's like almost like when you watch a carrion. It's like they're lying sideways, and then it's an object of manipulation. But when you kick him up and he's standing with his feet on your feet, and he is facing the audience, and you move him slightly to the left and the right, and his arms are just moving a little bit, you really get this sense of puppetry.
Yes.
Like and you already have given him a little bit of a soul, because he looks like he's doing things with his hands.
Yes.
And then when he turns up, like he's looking, you really sort of, with a small manipulation.
Yeah. It's really funny.
It is great. But so yes, I just thought we'd paint a picture because when
but I know I had this idea with a smaller puppet before, and then in the pandemic, I remember this, and I was thinking, okay, and I have to say I saw one video with a puppet, with a bigger puppet already, and this puppet already uses this little movement in the arm.
arms. Oh.
I don't know exactly. It was maybe in the 50 or that somebody already did something like this.
Well,
but it was surprised that nobody bring it back.
Yeah, it's I sit on the cans on top of each other. And this was the only sort of thing that I've created that I didn't really have any reference to for the stack, where I put things on top of each other.
Yes.
But I had seen part of the idea that I'd gotten came from a picture that I saw with Ripley's Believe It or Not, in a picture just of a man who could sit on a sort of whiskey glass upside down in this position.
Yeah.
So he's like having his hands on the ground or whatever. And I also a picture from a book called Light on Yoga, where there was a guy who sits like this with the legs behind his head and is balancing on his bum in the sort of prayer with his hands position. And it's got some Indian name for what this. So it wasn't out of nowhere, but I had never seen anybody who did the stacking on top of each other. But then I did this guy called Niels Dunker, who is a juggler from Holland, and I had him on the podcast, and he sent me not so long ago a picture from 1935 or something of somebody doing what I am doing on a stack of maybe 5 or 6, which is the number that I have, cans standing on top of each other. But his cans are all the same size, like the small can that I use. He has like 5 of those, and I didn't talk to him about this, but when I then spoke to him about it, you sent me this thing, and I'm going, but this I think is a promotion shot, like it's been taken. This is my imagination, because there is no way that he can get up there without there being equipment which is now not in the picture. Because it's too high. He can't jump up onto this thing.
Or you need a ladder, and then somebody have to take the ladder away.
Or that he comes in and that he holds on to something. Because how he gets his legs up or whatever. This, I just don't... You need to have your feet, you need something. Or maybe it is possible to put them up, but to hold on to this thing when you sit on the top and to get into this position, just from an act that I've performed thousands of times, I hope that it happened and that I am wrong and that it's possible to get to this state. But for me, the way that how precise you need to be where you sit for this balance to work is a very small area on your bum for you to be able to do the balance. And that he could jump up, however, how that would be, like 30, 40 centimeters, that he could jump up, get on this position, and then lift the legs up, which actually, and that it doesn't fall down when it's just thin, just makes me think he didn't do this act like this. Then maybe he would have a little, because you could have a little platform that you rolled up that maybe had a gap, and these could go in, and then you could sit up, and then you would have a handle that you hold on to, similar to my cans. But if this was the way he did it, then this is a worse act than mine. So
I have to say, in the past, it is much more often that people use some help to come in the position. If you just thinking about the roller bowler, when they go on top of the roller bowler, often they have a little platform behind, and then they have an assistant take it away. And it is so often that people use something and then they take this.
So that's true. And I say that I don't think he performed this, then maybe that's just what it is that he has a kind of platform or so.
Or maybe it was a promotion.
But it's true that it could just be that he had it was actually a two-person act, like it sometimes is. It's like the wife or whatever,
and
and the assistant. Yeah. So it because it's not that it would be impossible, but as it's shown in the picture, as a professional doing this kind of thing, I don't think.
And you never know. Maybe there was a stick in the middle.
This is also true.
It's
but even then, I don't know how you would get up there. I mean, but because it is possible to get up, and I have done it on just on a stick, like on a pole that was standing. It was there's a video of me online getting on top of it's on the beach, like a beach volleyball thing with a wooden thing that it hangs on, and I climbed up to the top and I sit there and I go.
Oh really?
And but then I had to hold around the top of the pole to beneath me or whatever. So it was cumbersome or difficult. So it is possible. So, but his thing is so thin that I'm going like, I don't know how you would jump up that high backwards, getting your bum onto it. But if it's
when
a comedy,
you have no space to hold.
No, only underneath you, and this is a bad position to stabilize yourself with. Yeah. Because mine is a smaller can, and I can just reach. So this is kind of interesting when I'm doing the balance, is that I sit on a can of beans or whatever, and then I have a small paint tin, which is maybe 5 liters or something.
Yeah.
And it has a metal handle. And when this can is upside down, so the bottom is up, then my finger can just grab, so I can hold it in the first thing, the metal handle, which means if I fall backwards, I can hold on this one. But if I fall forward, or not fall, but when I'm correcting the balance, I use only my thumb. So I have the thumb on the top of the can, and the other one is the handle. 2 fingers is the handle.
Interesting.
And now I am 100% connected to this distance, because this is now a weird skill where it's only maybe 5 centimeters in front of me, but this is enough that when it's directly beneath me, it's very difficult to have the balance and secure myself. But just that it's 5 centimeters in the front, and then I can pull with my ring finger and middle finger and sort of push with my thumb if I'm tipping forward. But this is basically what I have to save it with, this distance.
To correct the balance.
Which comes like you from the suitcase. The suitcase dictates you certain ways that you have to behave.
Yeah.
And to me, it was this can that just, when I was trying to find out what I could use, and you found this one, and you go, oh, this works very good because I can do this. But then, of course, you become completely addicted, or you
need
avhengig, what is it called? I need this particular can now. So now when I bought a bunch of them, and now, of course, they slowly over time get a little bit bumpy and a little bit gunked, and then you have to get the new one or so. But I think I have enough. But anyway, enough about those things. So that's all very exciting about. So just to finish up this, talking about circus in the communist era. So then in when was it that the wall came down? In
1989, November 1989, yes.
Yeah, 89. So how was that? Where were you when it happened?
I was in Russia when it happened. I was not in Germany. I had a contract in Russian, and it started March 1989, when nothing happened in Germany. It was really, nobody could see this future coming. And I came back 3 weeks after the walls fell down. It was really, I saw some pictures, and I was in Moldavian at this time, and we could listen to the German radio, but it was really, I think also the people in Germany couldn't see what's happened. But when you are so far away from your country, it was, for me, I couldn't believe what's happened in Germany. And also in this time, you didn't have a phone with you all the time. When I want to ring up my parents, I have to go to the office. to the post office in Russian, and sometimes you was waiting there for 2 hours, just that you can have a 20 minutes call with your parents at home. And it was really now it is really a time, or when I'm looking back, it is really for me this year. I'm very, very sad that I missed this time in Germany. Actually, the last half year before the wall calmed down, because I think it was a very special time in East Germany. All the people on the Monday, they came on the street walking with a candle and just give this very, very quiet protest that they want to change something. And it must be amazing, but I missed it. You have to ask somebody else. How was it?
Yeah, but it still went, like, it still happened for you. So you were there. And what was the first rumors? Do you remember that? Because I imagine that people would go, "Did you hear this is happening?" Or like,
for me, it was really. We had a little party after the show, and in this time I worked in the circus buildings in Moldavian, in Chisinau, and I think that there was some 3 girls from Hungary, and it was the last show for these 3 girls, and we did a little party to say goodbye, and then we came back in our room, and I switched on the radio, and then they say the wall is open. And I said, "What it means the wall is open? The border is open." See, my colleague Sabine, I say, "Sabine, they're talking about the border from Germany is open. What do you think? What they mean?" I had no idea. And then there came the first interviews live from the Berlin border. And the people, "Oh, we can't believe, and we just want to go and take a look how it looks like in West Berlin. No, we're coming back, but we want to take a look." And I say, "What they are talking about? I don't understand it." And then I think it was just 20 minutes later, the Russian colleagues, other performers, they're knocking on our door, and say, "You have to come. They bring some pictures from Berlin. They opened the border." And then we walked to the Russian people, because they had a TV, and we couldn't believe. We really couldn't believe.
Wow.
And then we know we will be there for the next 3 weeks.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I don't know anything about Moldavia. It's one of those countries that you don't hear so much about. Like,
in this time, it was apart from the Russian Union. It was
its own. Oh no, it was a part. It was
like
part of
the
Soviet
Ukraine,
Union.
like Litauen. It was the Soviet Union in this time.
Yeah.
And Moldavian, it's a little country behind Ukraine.
Okay.
I mean, it is, when you see now the Ukraine, and it is between Ukraine and Romanian.
Oh yeah.
It is really just a small country. But in this time, when I have been there, Moldavian already want to go out from the Soviet Union, and it was already a little protest there, and they closed the city. I mean, it was, I don't know, maybe it was often in Russian, but I just had it this time. They closed the city that you couldn't go in or out, and
with the circus inside.
Yeah,
so you guys
it was a circus building. It was an international program. It was not the German circus, but it was a special situation for the city, and they closed all the museum, they closed all the theater, but the circus still performed, and it was very, very special, because we know in Germany the border is open, and we was in a city what they closed for nobody could go in, nobody could go out. but I don't know exactly why they did it. It was
some protest or something. Or
yeah,
is
it was like a
related?
putsch. They really
Or like a coup.
yeah.
Somebody tried to
Yeah.
take over the power or something.
Yeah.
How interesting. But maybe also it was something which was in the time as well. If this was happening in Germany, I am sure if Moldavia already had some...
It was a time when Gorbachev was in power, and he already had a much more open politic, and he was much closer to the West world, and he wanted to open the country. Without Gorbachev in East Germany, it will never happen that Germany came together, because they tried it already in 1957, but then Russians sent all the tanks, and they really, the East German people already get up and say, we want to change something. And then the tanks from Russian came and bring it down. Like in Prague was the same, in Czechoslovakia. It was in the 50s. A lot of countries try to get out of this system, but then was the military, and the Russian was so strong. And Gorbachev, he was very, very clear when he say, actually on the 7th of October 1989, Gorbachev came to Germany, to East Germany, and he really say something about when you came, I don't know in English, but he was very, very clear that he will not against it when the people.
He was not going to send the army if you rebel. It's clear. Like,
and it was also the reason why the people.
So it's almost like he was giving you the sign, saying, if you really don't want to go, we will not. Because previously you could get killed, or you go to the, I don't know, KGB, or I don't know what.
I was not in Germany when it's happened, but I know actually in October there was in Leipzig was a big demonstration, and they had a lot of police, a lot of army in this city, and it was very, very close that they want to shoot the people.
Yeah.
And but I just heard it. But they say the army say we will not shoot their own people.
Yeah.
And then
this is this is an act of rebellion, or I guess it's also for the soldiers. It's kind of, I don't know, is it treason or something? If when the soldiers actually goes, no, this is it. We do not shoot our own people. We're supposed to protect our people from the enemy, and our people is not the enemy.
Yeah.
But it's difficult because you go to prison or you can be executed, I think, for treason or those things.
Exactly.
So it's,
yeah. And it was nearly 1.5 months before the wall fell down.
Yeah. But it was then the movement had started, kind of.
Yeah.
Like there was a crack in the dam.
Yes.
And
it was already 6 months, the people in all the cities stand up or walked every Monday on the street, and very quiet and very without aggressive. And I think it was very, very special, this kind of change in Germany, because it was without
aggression, like it was a non-violent protest or so.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Maybe we'll make a pause there and we'll...
And we'll what? And we will what? Well, we will find out about what that is in the next exciting episode, where we continue this conversation with Antje Pode. And if you want to support the podcast, I urge you to click subscribe and have these episodes come down in your feed. That would be really, really awesome. Until next time, take care of yourself and those you love, and I hope to see you along the way.